Hello, students. Welcome to Easy Elimu Learning Simplified. I am your teacher, Mr. Stanley Umbogo. So, dear students, this is another video, and again, we are still looking at some of the areas that we have under listening and speaking. So, in the previous video, we were able to look at some of the things that we are supposed to do or to consider when giving directions. And again, we were also able to look at some of the things that we are supposed to avoid as an instructor, that is when giving directions. So in this video, dear students, allow me take you through some of the things that a listener should do or must do when that is receiving instructions. So if you did not that is if you did not get the chance to watch the previous video, kindly check it out and look for what you're missing. Now, about the lesson that we are about to have, and that is giving and receiving instructions. I'd like to start by saying that dear students, following instructions effectively and correctly in most cases leads to success. But if we fail to listen or if we fail to pay attention when receiving instructions, we are most likely to fail to do what is expected of us. So that said, it means that sometimes we might be disappointed. We might be disappointed or frustrated as a result of that is not doing the right thing or not listening carefully when receiving instructions. For example, if someone maybe is learning to you know to prepare a good meal, that is they have got a recipe that is there to guide them. Remember, a recipe is also just a list containing instructions on how to prepare a given meal. So for example, if you're given a recipe on how to prepare maybe fish, and there are the instructions there, then you skip the bit where you are told that you are supposed to maybe add salt. So it means that the meal that you will eventually prepare will not conform to some of to the set of instructions or the rules that you are given in the recipe, and that will be a disappointment because we will fail to get the expected outcome. That is, the meal won't taste good. So under reading and listening to instructions, note that when reading or listening to instructions, now we are talking about the listeners. So when reading or listening to instructions, you should follow the following guidelines. So the first guideline that you must adhere to is to be sure that you understand the purpose of the instructions. What are the purpose of the instructions? Like in the example that I've just given, talking about recipe, the purpose of that instruction is to, prepare a meal that is sumptuous. So there are different purposes for instructions. For example, I can give another example, that is in driving lessons or driving classes. The purpose is to, or the objective there is that at the end we expect the trainee to be a good driver. So you must be sure that you understand the purpose of the instructions. Another thing is that if the instructions are oral, you should listen attentively to them. That is by paying maximum attention. So remember, we have got the written instructions and the oral instructions. So oral instructions are instructions that are given by the instructor by the word of mouth, while the written ones are those that are recorded maybe on pieces of paper or in books. So another thing that you're supposed to note when reading or listening to instructions, dear students, is that you should read written instructions all the way through, perhaps several times before you begin to carry them out. And again, I'll still insist in my example, I'll still use the recipe. So if you have a written instructions that is guiding you on how to prepare a given meal, go through it several times before you start, to carry out that activity, just to ensure that all areas are checked. And another thing that you are supposed to note, dear students, is be sure you understand exactly what you are to do and how. Understand what you are exactly to do, and again how you're supposed to do them. Then we also advise to take notes of the steps. Now this is very useful in oral instructions. So the notes will help you counter check if at all there is anything that is missing or left out, or there is that bit of instruction that you haven't followed keenly. So another thing is that as you listen, ask for clarifications where you have not understood. So there are people who normally fail to get or to clearly understand certain areas. But again, they are so fearful. They have this fear of, asking the instructor for clarifications, thinking that maybe it will portray them as people who are inattentive. So you are advised to always ask or seek for clarifications where you have not understood. And lastly, repeat the instructions after the instructor, just to be sure that you got the correct information. Now, when giving instructions, now as the instructor, these are some of the things that we are supposed to look at when giving instructions as the instructor. Here are some of the things that you should observe. So the first one, as the instructor, be sure about what exactly you want to communicate. What is it that you want to tell the listener, and how will they, take it? Another thing is that try, as the instructor, to tailor the language that you use according to the people you are instructing. So choose your language carefully. So if you're addressing maybe an old person, then definitely you know the language to use. If you're addressing a child, or if you are trying to instruct a child, you know the right language to use. And again, if you are addressing an adult, you know the kind of language to use. So tailor the language that you use according to the people you are instructing, meaning that you must first be able to know your target audience. And again, as the instructor, you're also advised to avoid giving too many instructions or explanations at once. So remember, if you feed the listener with too much information, then there is the possibility of some bit of information being forgotten, that is by the listener. So always ensure that you are brief and precise when you're giving these instructions. Another thing, dear students, is that as the instructor, you should also be clear and give the instructions in a logical manner. Then you're also advised to avoid unnecessary details. So if, for example, maybe you are using, let me talk about, you want to use a name to help somebody get to a particular place. So if I'm to use, let me use my name, Mr. Mbogo's home. So just tell the person to walk and get to or reach a gate that is written Mr. Mbogo's place. But don't go ahead and tell the listener that that guy Mr. Mbogo he lost his wife, and so on. Those are unnecessary details. So when giving instructions, avoid details that are not necessary. Then another important thing also to observe is that is asking the listener some follow-up questions where necessary to ensure that the instructions have been understood. And lastly, encourage the people you are instructing to ask questions for clarifications. Dear students, that brings us to a close of this session. Thank you for watching till the end, and remember to always keep it easy, Elimu. Until next time, I'm your teacher, Mr. Stanley Ombogo. Bye.